Hi, Muchísimo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. I want to talk about Robert Brooks, the gentleman that I just finished reading about this article, and I really didn't know it was this close to home. This Mercy Correctional Facility is literally 7 minutes drive from where I live. I actually pass by this correctional facility on a regular when I'm going to the salvage yard up in Marcy, New York. And so I'm reading details. He was 43. He was in prison because he stabbed his girlfriend in the chest, neck, and torso. So he received 12 years for that. He was in Mohawk Correctional, which is in Mohawk, New York. Actually, it's in Rome, New York. I'm sorry. It's called Mohawk Correctional, as in Mohawk Valley. So they transferred him as a result of him getting into at least two fights where he was attacked. One guy allegedly put a lock in a pillowcase, which is a form of building a weapon. A lot of times they'll put bars of soap in a pillowcase and tie it in a knot, and when they get in a fight and confrontation, this serves as a weapon. And they hit you in the head, the arm, anywhere they can hit you at, and it really it diminishes your you as a threat drastically. So anyway, they moved him to Marcy Correctional, and there's a video out where you can actually see these officers kicking and beating him. And I was reading the details. One officer, particularly, that was kicking him in the groin, washing blood off of his face, and then at the same time trying to stuff this rag in his mouth, and began punching them erratically. And he was one of 14 officers being implicated in this, but he resigned immediately. And there's a thing about resigning, if I had to guess. I think in him resigning, it can go down as he didn't get fired. He quit. Sounds familiar? And so I'm highlighting this story because 2025 just popped off. We had another tragic situation in Louisiana, New Orleans. I won't go into detail about that. And, we're really striking a chord with the audience. Pay attention to this behavior. Just got through doing drywall. Forgot to take these off. I didn't commit no atrocious act, by the way. No crimes committed here. And so I really wanted to let you guys know that these officers, this is just almost reminiscent of the George Floyd situation. I wasn't on that bandwagon of what everybody else was on. I just stood back and did my observation as I'm doing now, and formed my own opinion and decision based on a lot of information that I gained. And it's early in this thing, but one thing's undeniable. When someone's detained and you beat them in the way that George Floyd and this guy, Robert Brooks, got beat, inhumane is not even the word here. And these idiots four of them had their body cameras on. New York State was the first state to implement this in the correctional. They was doing a pilot program throughout the state of New York, and so many years. I think it started in 2017 or 18, and so they were the first state to implement body cams into correctional officers where they would wear them for obvious reasons, to protect the officers, to protect the facility from being in litigations, and to protect the inmates. More so to protect the staff. And so, this being the case, only 4 of the officers had their cameras on, but they forgot that they were on. They didn't know they were on, put it that way. I won't say forgot. They didn't know. They had no idea. And so All while this beating was going on, they were under the impression that this was between them and the deceased. And so, had this camera footage not been there, is what I wanted to capture with you guys. Had this camera footage not been there, most, if not all of these officers would have been able to get away with this and just say that this inmate was combative and they had to take the necessary measures. And there was also a nurse that's implicated in this who administered treatment to him. I can't really say whether I think she should be terminated or have any responsibility or not, because she's a court mandated reporter. She's certified reporter, so anyway. This is how power, control of position, but the lack of control in demeanor and mood regulation. You get these type of people in positions of power, and if they're a narcissist, do you know how many people have been brutally murdered, hurt, maimed, disabled, not to mention lied on, at the hands of people in positions like this? My condolences to his family. I don't want to speak too much about this situation as it pertains to my opinions, because my opinions are not what really matters here. I just want to highlight this story and to let you guys know that this happening was 7 minutes up the road. I've been to prison. I spent 5 years in prison in 1997 to 2001. I got out, I think, beginning of 2002. Well, actually, altogether 5 years, about a year in the county, so 5 years. And I went a time prior to that, and I spent about 6 months. So 5.5 years total, not to mention all the county time I spent in my alcohol addictive era back in the 90s. So I understand when you're in these situations behind the walls, you have no one to side with you. It's you against them, and if they say you did it, you did it. You can be the best model inmate in there. If you're not liked, they will crack your cell anonymously or mysteriously. Your cell will get cracked, and that just means a button would be pushed in the control room, and your cell would be opened mechanically or electronically. Thereby, inmates can gain access into your cell, close it, and thereby proceed to annihilate you, fight you, and sometimes kill you. So you're at the mercy of the correctional officers there, one way or another. They are either your protectors or the predators. So just want to let you guys know, people are in power and position who happen to be narcissists. And even in society, the narcissists who we dealt with, some of these narcissists probably were in positions of authority, such as they work state job, county jobs, and you might have just had a regular old 9 to 5. They might have been in positions of some of you husbands. Your husbands might have been police officers. Some of your wives might have been worked at the courthouse. And so it's not enough when you deal with a narcissist, as manipulative as they are, but if you were involved with one in a position of influence and persuasion, or had a cush job in a particular safe space, they have the leverage and they have the belief system of everyone around them already in place. They go to work and play the good employee, but come home and treat you like you know what, and have everybody believing that their life is a living hell when they go home to you, but in fact they're causing you a living hell. They are smooth with it, man. They're very smooth with it. And I don't know how this is going to turn out. All I know is a man lost his life at 43 years old. And you know what strikes me really as disheartening is, everybody make mistakes and go to probably a county, get arrested for something. Not everybody, but there is people in the world, or there are people in the world that have did some bad things or been accused, and they've gone to jail, prison, whatnot, and have just made mistakes. But when I read about how he stabbed his girlfriend, and it also said that he worked at a facility mentoring boys and girls that his father uh, pretty much started. His father started. And so he went down and mentored men, little boys and girls. And what's still disheartening, he's a mentor and you end up doing this to your girlfriend. So there's a slew of things going on here with this. Who knows? I don't know what his mental state was at all either. But, unfortunately, he lost his life. And even, when people lose their life that, are not the best person in the world, it is not to be, uh, it's not anything to get excited about. I just want to point that I just really, that kind of struck me as not so good in his face, in his defense, or in his favor, that he the way that he stabbed his girlfriend in the chest, in the neck, and in the torso, and he only got first degree assault, and that just seems like that's almost attempted murder. So, but that the law is being changed where, you know, a person can almost kill you, and they'll get away with an assault. A lot of times, if somebody stabs you with a knife, it happens here a lot, and they get an appearance ticket. They don't even go to jail. So we're living in very, very hostile times where these people know what they can and cannot get away with. And a narcissist will push the envelope. They will chance it because they know that they're good liars, they're persuasive, and they've gotten out of so many things that they've gotten into in times past. So they're gambling on that. But I'm here to tell you, God is open to the idea of retribution. It's a part of His law, and retribution is about to be served, and it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. It's not gonna be warmed up, and will allow God to do that. But in the meantime, we're gonna get this information out because closed mouths don't get fed and closed minds don't get led. That being said, bless.